My beloved, pause right now, because what you're about to hear is not just another video. It's the answer to the ache you've been carrying in silence. I see the tears behind your strength. I hear the questions you whisper when no one's watching. You've been crying out, God, do you still see me? This is my reply. You're not forgotten. You're not too far gone. And this pain you've been dragging like a chain, I'm about to break it. But you must stay, because before this message ends, I will show you what the enemy never wanted you to know. Your story isn't over. It's just beginning. Don't scroll away from your miracle. Stay until the end. I'm speaking directly to your soul. A sequence of supernatural movements has been initiated in the heavens, and it is now being channeled into your life. It begins gently but profoundly, like the first breeze of a new season, like the initial chime of a bell announcing the dawn of something fresh. The first transformation will begin with your eyes, but not merely your physical eyes. It will begin with the eyes of your spirit, your heart, your faith, and your hope. I am renewing your vision. That which was once blurred, overshadowed by fear, disappointment, or painful memories will now be wiped clean. You will begin to look at your life through a completely different lens, a vision anointed with wisdom and grace from heaven. My child, there is someone, a soul in the heavenly realm, who has been fervently interceding for you. This may be a loved one who has gone before you, or perhaps an angel assigned to stand in the gap when your spirit was too weary to pray. Their prayers have not fallen into the void. They have risen like sacred incense before my throne. Today I come to announce that their prayers have been answered. The very moment they knelt to pray was the moment a divine shift began, and now you are stepping right into the heart of its fulfillment. Not only will your physical eyes be healed, but your spiritual vision will also be fully restored. You will begin to see again what I once spoke over you, the dreams that once seemed to fade, the plans you laid aside out of heartbreak. I will renew your faith in me, the one who called you out of darkness into my marvelous light. Even more, I will open your eyes to see yourself more clearly. You are no longer the wounded one, no longer a victim of circumstances or failure. I declare that you are chosen, a light I have set on a hill, a vessel carrying a noble purpose and a great calling. Do not let the words of man dim that light. Do not let past experiences suffocate the new vision I am placing before you. Along with spiritual healing, I will begin to restore other areas of your life. In finances, where you once saw lack and anxiety, I will now cause your eyes to see new doors. Doors that seemed closed, opportunities that seemed lost, will suddenly reopen. But you will not merely see material wealth. You will see strategy. You will see divine wisdom. You will see how I am guiding you to steward well and to walk into an unshakable season of abundance. In your relationships, I will also grant you discernment to know which connections to nurture and which ones to release. You were hurt when you placed your trust in the wrong hands, but now you will see the hearts of others through eyes anointed by me. I will bring new people into your life, not those who seek to use you, but those who will walk alongside you and strengthen you in this new chapter. And in the days to come, I will open your eyes to behold the vision I have prepared for you. No more confusion, no more wandering, only steady guidance and the radiant light of renewed expectation. Beloved child, if your heart is trembling, if your spirit feels overwhelmed by the magnitude of what I am speaking, then be still within. Let these words soak into you as morning dew sinks deep into dry soil. You do not need to fully comprehend them, nor do you need to measure them with your limited understanding. You only need to believe, to open your heart, and to wait in surrender for that moment. Those 21 appointed minutes are not merely a sign, but the beginning of a sequence of supernatural events. Scales will fall from your eyes, veils will be torn apart, and I, yes, I myself, will be the one leading you from one place to another, from confusion to clarity, from chaos to divine order, from despair to living hope. So, my child, do not let your mind wander. Do not move on too quickly before my words fully settle in your heart. Do not miss this moment, for it is not just another opportunity, but a moment heaven has prepared for you long before you were born. I have planned for this very second since eternity past, and I know with certainty that once you respond, your entire life will step into a new season. No longer the old self, no longer bound, but awakened to live fully in the light and truth I have prepared for you. Now, as you read these final lines, I want you to do just one simple thing. Close your eyes and say to me with all your heart, Father, I am willing to look again. Please open my eyes, heal me, grant me a new vision in my spirit, in my body, and in my life. And then, my child, leave the rest to me. For I, faithful and true, have never broken a promise, and I will not begin with you today. Remain, not only with your body, but with your mind, your soul, and even the hidden places within you that you have long kept buried. Because it is precisely in that remaining that the miracle shall be awakened, not through meaningless waiting, but through absolute obedience. A waiting without distraction, the yes without regret. Only when you stay until the very last moment, and when your lips release the 3 sacred words that I shall give you, then a divine gate will be opened. These are not ordinary words. They are words etched by my power, preserved through the ages, and entrusted only to those who dare to believe, who dare to hope, who dare to remain. These words will not only shake the atmosphere around you, but pierce through realms of the spirit, breaking the invisible chains that the enemy has quietly wrapped around your soul. My beloved, throughout the years past, there were things meant to be yours. Promises, dreams, relationships, open doors. But due to covert assaults from the realm of darkness, they were stolen, delayed, hidden away. And you did not know, but battles have been waged for your sake between my angels and the forces of opposition. And today, this very day, in this very moment, you are being handed a supreme weapon to reclaim what was meant for you. This weapon is not sword nor spear, but 3 holy words from heaven. Do you know this? There are things in the spirit that can only be unlocked when a person dares to stand still and believe to the end. There are blessings not reserved for the forgetful or the easily discouraged. I am not looking for perfection in you, but I am looking for persistence, a heart that does not run halfway through, a soul that obeys even when understanding is incomplete. If you persist, if you remain, if you are not distracted by the noise of the world, then exactly 30 minutes from now, something from heaven will begin to unfold. A new wave of restoration will flood your life. A season of anointing will begin. But if you leave too soon, if you treat these words as just another message among thousands, if you shut your heart the moment truth begins to touch the places you don't want to face, then spiritual blindness may continue. Not because I refuse to heal, but because you did not remain to receive. Not because I lack the power, but because you left before my arm could reach you. My beloved child, stay. Do not let these sacred moments pass you by in vain. Do not let what belongs to you fall into the enemy's hands once again. Do not let the light that has just flickered in your soul be snuffed out by impatience. Let the silence do its deep work. Let every word I speak sink into the depths of your heart like rain falling on parched ground. And then when the time comes, I will place 3 sacred words into your mind. As a vision, as a gentle whisper, or even as a stirring too profound to express in human language. When you utter those 3 words, not as a dry ritual, but as a declaration overflowing with faith and humility. The heavens will begin to move. Walls that once blocked your path will crack open. Tombs of the past will be unsealed so that new life may rise. Silent curses will be broken by the holy sound that emerges from your very lips. I know 30 minutes may not feel short. It may feel long when you see nothing happening. It may cause doubt when your senses feel numb. But my child, your persistence is the proof of your faith, and I never overlook true faith. Every minute you stay, every breath you whisper in quiet prayer, every time you push past the voices of doubt in your mind, all of it is being recorded. I see it, I know it, and I am preparing to do what you cannot. So my child, treat this as a sacred prelude to a new chapter of your life. Consider these 30 minutes a time inside the Holy of Holies, where I reveal my glory in an intimate and personal way. And once you pass through that threshold with patience, what unfolds will far exceed your expectations. You will enter a season where everything that once lay dormant will come back to life. You will reclaim what was stolen. You will walk forward with new vision, new power, and a heart reborn in the fire from heaven. So do not leave. Do not cut this message short. Do not worry about the clock of the world, because heaven's clock is striking a divine moment just for you. And when that moment arrives, no one will need to prompt you. Your very soul will know. You will feel the shift in the atmosphere. You will know this is the beginning of what you've been waiting for. And now, my beloved child, because you have chosen to remain, because you did not walk away midway, because your heart did not waver in this sacred waiting, I, the living God, will place upon your lips 3 sacred words. Not ordinary words, but words sanctified, refined by the fires of time, preserved in the mysteries of heaven, meant only for you in this very moment. These 3 words will not merely be spoken from your mouth, but must arise from the deepest place within your soul. Each word will be a key, unlocking gates once sealed by sorrow, sin, and doubt. The first word is, I belong to you, my child. This is the first confession, a declaration of spiritual belonging. When you speak these words, you are rejecting every claim the world, the devil, or past memories have ever tried to impose on you. You are severing ties with everything that is not of me. You no longer belong to fear. You no longer belong to sin. You no longer belong to the old definitions that others placed upon you. You belong to me, the one who created you with eternal love, the one who shed his blood on the cross to redeem you, the one who never abandoned you in the wilderness. When this word is spoken, the heavens testify, angels bear witness, and the forces of darkness must retreat. The moment you declare that you belong to me, the full rights of my sonship are reactivated in you, complete with glory and authority. The second word is, please open my eyes. This is not merely a request for physical sight, but a sacred plea born from a humble spirit. When you say this, you are admitting that your own strength is not enough to see clearly. You are acknowledging that what the natural eyes perceive is not always aligned with spiritual truth. You are asking me, the one who opens the eyes of the blind and illuminates the soul, to grant you a new light. When these words are spoken from a place of hunger and faith, I will do more than what you ask. I will open your eyes to see my purpose for your life, to recognize the people I've placed beside you, and to perceive a way out even when you are trapped in situations that seem utterly hopeless. Above all, you will see me, not as an abstract concept or distant idea, but as a living, near presence, holding your hand through every step. For it is written, Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Matthew 5:8. The third word is, let your will be done. This is the summit of surrender. It is the place where you stop wrestling to retain control. It is the moment your soul willingly kneels before the higher will of God. When you say this, you are placing into my hands every blueprint, every personal dream, every calculation and plan. You are saying, Father, even if I don't understand, I still trust you. Even though I've been wounded by delays, I choose to yield. Even though I've doubted before, now I choose to open. When this word is released with deep humility, heaven opens wide, and my will, which is always good, pleasing, and perfect, begins to flow into your life like a flood of grace. What you once strained to achieve through effort will now be given through mercy. What was once closed will be opened, not because of your merit, but because of your complete surrender to me. These 3 words are not mere sounds. They are the signs of a soul prepared for renewal. When you speak them, not as a formula, but as living worship, the door of miracles will open. What the enemy once stole, your purity, your peace, your guidance, your connection, will begin to be restored, piece by piece, and a new season will begin. Not a prophecy delayed, but a fulfillment unfolding before your very eyes. So, my child, if your heart is trembling, if tears are welling up, if your spirit senses something deep is moving, don't hold back. Say these 3 words with all your heart. Speak them as though your soul is on fire with longing to see God move. And then you will see. The miracle does not wait until the end of 30 minutes. The miracle begins in the very moment your lips become the vessel through which heaven's life and power are released. In that moment, you will know, with no room left for doubt, that the one you've been seeking is truly here, and he has chosen you to be the living miracle in this generation. Right now, not an hour earlier, not an hour later, you are standing in the very center of divine intervention. This is no longer an ordinary moment, no longer a meaningless point on the timeline of your life. You are standing in a sacred space where heaven meets earth, where the eyes of angels are fixed on you without turning away, not to judge, but to await a sign from within your heart. They are quietly watching. Will you have the courage to step beyond the line between doubt and faith? Will you have the steadfastness to take hold of what heaven is revealing to you in this appointed time? My child, do not mistake this for a random video or just another paragraph among the countless ones you've scrolled past. No, this is not a product of coincidence, nor a vague alignment of events. This is a moment sealed in the calendar of eternity, a moment I saw long ago and set apart for you. As your eyes opened and landed on these very words, you stepped into the current of something deeper than anything you've ever experienced. This is divine intervention, not birthed by human will, but sent directly from the throne of my glory. My Spirit, the Holy Spirit, whom I have sent to comfort, to teach, and to guide, is now moving around you and within you. Can you feel it? The warmth in your heart, the trembling within your spirit. That is not a coincidence. It is the sign that I am touching you, that I have heard every sob you've released into your pillow in the dark of night when no one knew, when no one understood. I have listened to every labored breath, every feeble whisper you lifted up in despair. Today, under the authority of everlasting love, I come to declare, you are not forgotten, you are not abandoned. I have always been there. Now I send healing to you, not in a general way, not on some distant day, but right now. I begin with your eyes, the first place to receive light, and often the first to be veiled by darkness. Those eyes of yours, once bright with faith and gleaming with hope, may now be tired, their light dimmed by years of pain, disappointment, and unanswered waiting. But I am the one who formed the eyes of man. I am the one who opened blind eyes in Jericho, who made Paul see glory after his blindness. And today, these very eyes of yours will be anointed and made new. I will wipe away the fog of sorrow. I will cleanse the dust of the past. I will shatter the spiritual blindness the enemy has sown in your heart. Blindness that kept you from seeing what I have already prepared. My child, it is not your physical eyes that matter most, but your spiritual vision, the sight that lets you recognize my presence in every situation, that helps you see life among ashes and hope amidst the raging sea. And then, when your eyes are healed, the miracle will not stop there. From that very point of contact, living waters will begin to flow like waves breaking on the shore. What was once buried will rise. You will begin to see others through eyes of love rather than judgment. You will behold yourself through the lens of compassion and acceptance. The very mercy I have always had for you. You will clearly perceive the path I have laid out, the people I have placed beside you, the doors you thought were forever shut now swinging open once again. And above all, you will see me, not as a vague concept, but as a father standing before you, arms wide open, smiling, "Here I am, do not be afraid." But you must understand this. Such healing does not come by your merit, but by your trust in my love. It does not flow from being good enough, but from being surrendered enough. You do not need to strive to prove anything. You simply need to stay. Stay in my presence. Stay in the stillness of faith. Stay in the intimate connection I long to restore. Do not scroll past. Do not turn away. Or if you turn away now, it would be like a door that is just beginning to open, quietly closing again. But if you stay, if you allow your heart to soften, if you respond to the gentle invitation of my spirit, then you will not only be healed, you will be reborn. I do not promise you that all your difficulties will disappear in an instant, but I do promise you this. From the very moment you receive this message with faith, I will begin to move without ceasing, step by step, beat by beat. I will lead you from confusion to clarity, from brokenness to wholeness, from collapse to stability, from tears to laughter. And your eyes, once soaked with sorrow, will shine again with the gaze of someone who has seen their Lord. So, my child, if right now you are feeling something unfamiliar, something deep, a vague yet unmistakable voice echoing inside, do not shut it down. That is me. Don't scroll on out of curiosity. Pause. Open your heart, because this is not merely a video, a web page, or a collection of words. This is a divine appointment between the Father and you, between heaven and the heart of a human. And if you dare to believe, if you dare to receive, what follows this very moment will change you forever. My beloved, I now stand before you and I ask you this. Do you want to see clearly again? If your answer is yes, then close your eyes for a moment and say to me, with the sincerity of a child desperate for life, Father, I am here. Please touch my eyes. Please grant me your light. And then, my child, what happens next will no longer be prophecy. It will be radiant reality, painted by the loving hand of the one who created you. Beloved child, these past days you have been walking as though through thick darkness. You've tried to make decisions, tried to move forward, but each step seems to lead deeper into a fog where reason cannot discern and the heart cries out with no clear path ahead. There have been moments when you quietly wondered, Lord, are you really there? Why does every direction feel so dim? You searched for me in whispers, in faint signs, yet the more you searched, the more it felt as though you were being led into a maze with no exit. And this is not because your faith is lacking, but because something very real has been happening in the spiritual realm. You do not see it, but the enemy has quietly woven a veil, an invisible yet tangible shroud. It is not over your physical eyes, but it clings to the eyes of your spirit. It clouds your vision from what I am doing, causes you to doubt my voice, to question whether you've strayed from my will. It confuses you even in prayer, makes the dreams that once blazed bright within you now feel distant and dim. This is the cunning strategy of the enemy, not to snatch away your faith all at once, but to blur it gradually until you no longer realize you've lost your sense of direction. But today I come to remove that veil. I come not just to wipe away your tears, but to lift the dense clouds that have hidden the light I placed in your heart from the beginning. When I touch your eyes, both physical and spiritual, what happens is not merely a restoration of sight. No, it is something deeper, stronger, more supernatural than anything you've imagined. When I heal your vision, I do more than restore your sense of direction. I give you clarity, a clarity that no one on this earth can provide. A clarity not born of reasoning or logic, but of the direct illumination of the Holy Spirit. That clarity will pull you out of the chaos of conflicting thoughts. It will scatter the confusion the enemy has deliberately sown into your heart, and will allow you to stand firm amidst decisions that once left you swaying. You will know clearly what is from me and what is merely a disguise. You will no longer ask, "Lord, is this your will?" but will proclaim with conviction, "This is the path the Lord has appointed for me to walk." And when clarity is poured out, divine guidance from heaven will begin to flow. You will no longer have to walk in the fog, fumbling with each step like one without a guide. I myself will be the lamp to your feet and the light on your path. Psalm 119:5. I will speak to you in the stillness of the night. I will show you signs through things that seem small and ordinary. Doors that were once tightly shut will now appear as gates illuminated by my glory. Each of your steps will no longer feel like a gamble, but the fruit of a living relationship, one in which you hear my voice and obey. And more than that, through this healing, you will rediscover the purpose I planted in your soul, even before you were formed in your mother's womb. No, you were not born to merely survive the monotony of one day after another. You were not created to drift through life unaware of why you exist. There is a divine calling, a sacred mission hidden at the core of your being, and I will open your eyes to see it. You will remember the things I whispered into your heart in the early days of your faith, dreams you once forgot, seeds I once sowed that you thought had died. All of them will come alive again. You will understand why I chose you, why you have never quite fit in, and why everything you've gone through was never random. It was all part of my eternal design. And when you step back into the purpose I assigned to you, your life will no longer feel empty, but filled with timeless meaning and divine value. And finally, from the very place where clarity, guidance, and purpose converge, breakthrough will come. Not a breakthrough you must struggle and strive to earn, but one born of grace. When you begin to see clearly what I am doing, you will stop resisting. You will no longer delay. You will move in divine timing, in divine positioning. And at that moment, the heavens will respond. Doors will fly open. Nothing and no one will be able to shut them. Delays will shift. Promises that seemed long dead will be resurrected in power. Broken relationships will be restored. And above all, you will enter a new territory where your soul is no longer choked by doubt, but opened wide by a bold faith in the one who called you. My child, do not let these words pass by like a beautiful dream. Do not close your heart just as I am reaching out my hand. Let me anoint your eyes with heavenly balm. Let me soothe the weariness deep within your soul. Let me, the one who sees all things, give you new eyes to behold what I have prepared. For today, darkness shall no longer rule your vision. The veil shall no longer hang between you and my glory. From this moment on, you shall no longer walk in the fog of uncertainty, but you shall stride forward in the radiant clarity of divine direction. And wherever light is present, life will flourish. Wherever life is, hope will rise. And wherever hope lives, that is where miracles begin. My child, it is beginning right now. A visible miracle is being set into motion. My beloved, this is not an abstract idea, not a far-off promise, but a tangible act. a real movement being stirred from the sacred dimension where I dwell. Perhaps even now, your heart still wavers in doubt. Perhaps your reasoning whispers, "Is this real? Is anything really happening?" But I declare to you, something supernatural was activated the moment you pressed play. In the very second you opened your heart to receive these words, even with the faintest longing, you are not here by coincidence. You did not simply stumble upon these words as just another video among countless others online. This is an appointment set by heaven. And from the moment you stepped into this atmosphere where the Holy Spirit is moving, a sacred countdown began. Every second that passes is not merely time on earth, but a heartbeat in the restoration plan I have engraved on the spiritual timeline of your life. Heaven may appear silent, but it is not distant. The angels are not merely watching. They are poised like soldiers stationed at the border of the heavens, ready to be dispatched. They await a signal, not from me, for I have already spoken, but from your heart. They are watching to see if you truly believe, if you truly open your heart, if you truly desire this divine intervention. For your faith is the most powerful signal to activate heaven's movement. And I tell you this, what is about to happen will not merely stir your emotions or leave you with a fleeting sense of awe. It will be a tangible encounter, a true turning point, beginning with those places within you that were once blind, once broken, once faded with time. The darkened chambers of your soul where you once buried pain, extinguished dreams, and long-forgotten hopes will be illuminated once more, not by human light, but by the glory that flows from my throne. Your healing is no longer a distant possibility. It is no longer delayed by circumstances, by people, or by the slowness of time. It has been appointed, and that time is now. This divine memorandum has been signed by my own hand. No power on earth or in the realm of darkness can stall it. No lie of the enemy can deny it. No fear can block what I have already set into motion. My beloved, picture this like rain, long stored in the weight of thick clouds now beginning to fall, gently yet surely. The first few drops may seem faint, but they are the harbingers of a downpour from the heavens. That rain will not only quench the barren ground of your soul, but it will awaken the seeds of promise I planted in you long ago. What you thought had died was only waiting for the right season to sprout, and today is the season of its emergence. Do you know this? When I speak, nothing returns void. My word is like a double-edged sword, piercing through every hardness, severing every invisible chain. And today, my word is being sown into your heart like good seed falling on fertile soil. If you are willing to believe, to nurture, and to hold fast to it, let your faith be the hand that reaches out to grasp that promise. Because what is coming will touch your body, your mind, and your soul. Your eyes shall be healed, but it will not stop there. Your mind will be renewed. Thoughts once eroded by doubt and fear will be replaced by the radiance of truth. No longer will you wake to mornings filled with confusion. No longer will you look toward the future through anxious eyes. You will see with the vision of heaven, sharp, clear, and filled with hope. Your soul, once cracked by years of loneliness, by the pain of cruel words, by dreams left unfinished, will be restored by my healing presence. Not with a surface touch, but through a sacred operation where I do not merely patch you up, but recreate and reshape your heart in the likeness of mine. And then, from that healing, doors will begin to open in your work, in your finances, in your relationships, and in your understanding of yourself. What once seemed like fragments will now become the foundation for breakthrough. The dreams you once shelved, believing you were unworthy, I will bring back. But this time, not to stir regret, but to fulfill, not by your own strength, but by the power of the one who promised and who is forever faithful. My beloved child, can you sense that something unusual is unfolding in your life? Lately, it feels as though everything has been suspended midair. The things you once believed with certainty would come to pass, the divine promises once declared boldly over your family, now seem paused, stuck in a nameless fog. The healing you've long prayed for, the financial breakthrough you've confessed in faith time and again, the doors you once glimpsed through prayer, all have suddenly slowed, as though something or someone has blocked the path. But listen closely, dear one. This delay is not your destiny. It is not my final word. And today that delay comes to an end. This delay was not born from my love for you, but from a battle raging in the unseen realm, a war you cannot see with your physical eyes, yet it touches every breath you take, every decision you make, every step you dare to move forward. The enemy of your soul, the one who has stalked your dreams since they were mere seeds, has done everything possible to paralyze you. It wants you to believe that delays are normal. It whispers to your mind, maybe God forgot, maybe you're not worthy, maybe this isn't meant for you. And slowly, doubt seeps in. Little by little, your faith is worn down until finally, it hopes you'll go silent. The enemy is not afraid of the weak. It is afraid of the ones who still dare to speak words of faith. It is not afraid of repetitive routine prayers. It fears the cry that comes from unwavering belief in heavenly power. It is not afraid of those who wait, but of those who respond, who not only wait, but act. And today, that is who you are, if you are willing to answer my call. Beloved, the delay you've been feeling is not because I'm unwilling to act, but because you have yet to release the response heaven is waiting to hear. I am not looking for perfection. I am looking for your honest reply. I do not need you to have it all together. I only need you to say, Lord, I am still here. I will not accept this delay as normal. I know there is more. I choose not to settle. Do not settle, my child. Do not let prolonged delay convince you that this is just the way it is. Do not let buried promises become the grave of your faith. Because if you continue to remain silent, if you continue to accept your current reality as unchangeable, then in that moment you've surrendered to the enemy, the very thing it desires most, your surrender. But today I call you to rise. I call your soul to awaken. I call the part of you that used to dream, that used to burn with passion, that once wept for unrealized dreams, to live again. For this is the hour of new beginnings. This is the divine moment opening up before you, and you cannot step into it with the old mindset, with chains still wrapped around your thoughts, chains of delay, failure, or resignation. Declare it out loud, in your home, in your heart, and if necessary in front of others. I reject delay. I will not make peace with darkness. I choose to believe in the promises of heaven. Understand this. Silence in a time of battle is not wisdom. It is defeat. In Scripture, every miracle began with a response. The woman who touched the hem of Jesus' garment, the blind man who cried out, Son of David, have mercy on me, the paralyzed man who waited for the stirring of the waters. All of them spoke up. All of them stepped out of their comfort zones to reach for the supernatural. So what about you? What will you say today? Will you remain silent, holding on to the faint hope that someday, somehow, something will just happen on its own? Or will you rise up and declare, Lord, I respond. I will not let delay steal the promise over my life. I will not allow dullness to swallow up my faith. I choose to step out. I choose to stand up. Because, my child, when you respond, I will move. When you speak, heaven will shift. When you take even the smallest step in obedience, I will usher you into a breakthrough beyond what you could imagine. That which has long been delayed will begin to unravel. Closed doors will begin to stir. Promises that once hung in suspension will start to take shape. For it is your obedience that unlocks the flow of the miraculous. For such a long time, not merely weeks or months, but perhaps even years, you have lived in a reality where you could only perceive fragmented pieces, dim, disjointed, and unclear. You've walked through countless days with a heart in turmoil and a mind flooded with questions that found no answers. You have asked, why do good things seem to miss their appointment with my life? Why do the doors I've waited for never seem to open? But what you did not realize was that an invisible veil had been drawn over the light, preventing you from seeing the full picture I have orchestrated for your destiny. You were lied to. Poisonous whispers had made their way into your ears, telling you that you were not enough, that you would never make a difference, that your dream was nothing but a fantasy. These words were like an anesthetic to your spirit, dulling your sense of worth and casting doubt even on my voice. They sowed seeds of confusion, blurring the line between truth and deception, between the promise ordained by heaven and the illusions of this world. And in that haze, divine opportunities quietly passed by, not because I withheld them, but because your vision had been clouded. The signs from above, the gentle prompting in your spirit, the sacred stirrings of my presence were all blocked by layers of weariness, illness, fear, and the unseen pressures of the spiritual realm of darkness. But today I come and speak to you with clarity. I am lifting that veil from your eyes. I am dispelling the fog that has kept you walking in spiritual blindness. I am tearing apart the curtain that has obscured your vision of hope. This is the appointed time when I draw you out of prolonged darkness so that you may see as I see, so that you may understand what I am doing even in the midst of what seems like utter stagnation. My beloved child, will you receive this word not merely with mental agreement, but through concrete action? If you truly trust, step out of the silence. Go to the place where declarations are made aloud, where you no longer fear the gaze of others, where you are no longer ashamed of your faith, and boldly write down these affirming words. The Lord gives sight to the blind. This is not superstition. This is an act of faith. It is a proclamation that carries liberating power, for it positions you in obedient alignment with the divine voice. Whoever obeys my word, even in something as small as writing a declaration, will no longer be bound. In the smallest of things, I reveal my greatest power, for sincere obedience has never been something I overlook. You think that only grand gestures shake the heavens, but in truth, it is the softness of heart, the quiet yes spoken in secret, that becomes the key to unlock the treasures of the soul. And I say to you, whoever walks in the light will no longer be lost. Whoever surrenders to me in the small will be led into the great. My child, I know that perhaps you've grown too accustomed to the darkness. You may have been in a place of limitation for so long that it has begun to feel like an unchangeable destiny. But I have come to renew your mind, to restore the brightness within your soul, and to lead you into a season of clarity, a time when what was once clouded will become unmistakably clear, when uncertainty will give way to unshakable conviction. Not because you earned it, but because I, the faithful one, have chosen this exact moment to open your eyes. Do not let your heart grow hard. Do not say, I'll wait for a greater sign, because this very word is the sign. I am using it as a lamp to shine in your darkness, and if you turn away from this light, the shadows around you will only grow thicker. But if you receive it, if you trust me, if you respond to this prompting even just once, then the light will spread, and you will find yourself standing on new ground, a place where blindness no longer controls you, where doubt no longer grips you, and where only light and my guidance remain. Do not underestimate what seems small. Do not assume that writing down a single declaration is meaningless. What you may not realize is that in the spiritual realm, that act becomes a mighty roar that shakes heaven and sends tremors through the gates of hell. You may not see it with your natural eyes, but when you declare the truth, angels are sent forth, chains are shattered, and what once felt delayed begins to move again. My beloved, there is a truth hidden beneath the surface of the trials you've endured and the long, weary days you've walked through. A truth most people overlook. The enemy of your soul does not need to destroy your body in order to defeat you. If he can simply cloud your spiritual vision, just a thin layer of fog over your inner sight, one that lingers long enough, he's already gained more ground than you know. He doesn't need to lock you into tragedy or overwhelm you with disaster. All it takes is to nudge you slightly off course, to lure you away with a clever counterfeit that looks almost real, to replace the true light with a false one. That alone is enough to cause you to drift from the divine destiny I have prepared for you. And do you know why he does this? Because he understands something most do not, that the true power of your life does not rest in the number of your days, but in how you live each one. He knows that if you ever truly perceive the vision I placed within your spirit from the very beginning, a vision woven from promises, calling, and your true identity, then all of darkness would tremble. Because when you begin to see clearly, you will no longer walk in hesitation or fear. You will walk in authority. When your eyes are open to see who you are in my sight, a warrior, an heir to the kingdom, a being formed by eternal purpose and unfailing love, you will no longer settle for scraps thrown at you by the world, falsely labeled as your worth. You will stop chasing approval from others and begin to stand firm in an identity sealed by me. Once your spiritual vision is restored, you will begin to recognize the traps the enemy sets before they can catch you. You will see through the sweet-sounding lies, the shortcuts that seem attractive, and the toxic connections disguised as kindness. As the light of truth illuminates your heart, the deception will lose its power. You will no longer be easily swayed or drawn back into the past, because your eyes will be fixed on the future I have promised you. And especially when you see my promises, your heart will ignite with a burning desire to fight for them. You will no longer sit passively, waiting for something to happen. Instead, you will rise, clothe yourself in spiritual armor, and step into battle with the firm assurance that my word never returns void. You will no longer let the prophecy over your life collect dust in a drawer, but live each day as one who grasps the destiny handed down from heaven. My child, remember this. Your vision is not merely a glimpse of the future. It is your compass for the present. It guides every decision you make, every step you take, every relationship you build, every word you speak, every action you carry out. When that vision becomes clear, everything else will align into its rightful place. But when vision fades, when you can no longer see what lies ahead, it won't be long before you pause, turn back, or stray off course. This is why the enemy doesn't need to destroy your entire life. He only needs to disrupt your vision. He only needs to plant seeds of doubt about yourself, about my voice, about the timing I have ordained. He knows that if he can get you to ask, did God really call me? Was that prophecy really for me? Did I even hear correctly? Then that uncertainty will paralyze you. But today I come to shatter every web of deception, clouding your vision. I come to wipe away the dust from your spiritual eyes so that you may see again, clearer than ever before. I want you to return to the place where it all began, the place where I first spoke to you, where your heart trembled at the greatness of what I revealed. Return to that place and let that fire burn again, my beloved. This is not merely a battle for your dream. It is a battle for your vision. And when vision is restored, strength will overflow. When you see what I see, you will walk as one who cannot be stopped. When you see things through heavenly eyes, You will live as a citizen of heaven. When you see yourself in my light, you will never again allow darkness to define who you are. My beloved child, when you pause for just a moment amid the whirlwind pace of life, amid the quiet worries that seep into your soul like dew upon tender grass, I want you to hear my whisper. It is gentle, yet stronger than all the noise around you. I do not only see the things you're asking for, I've known them even before you had the words to name your desires. The needs for provision, for healing in body and soul, for protection over your family and future, I know them all. But more than anything, what I long for from you is not a list of what you lack, but a heart wholly trusting in me. I do not require from you a flawless, spotless faith. I simply invite you to come close, so very close, like a child stepping into the arms of their father, not needing to know what tomorrow holds. You don't have to figure out all of my plans. You don't need to understand everything before you obey. All you need is to open your heart. Give me a dwelling place within you, and let your faith, even if it is as small as a mustard seed, become the bridge between your tangled reality and the abundant grace I've already prepared for you. Come, my child, and sit in my stillness. Stop chasing after the things that leave you exhausted. Let your soul find rest in me, in the sacred presence where the screams of doubt and the groans of worry are silenced. In the midst of this quiet, you will hear the voice of life more clearly than ever before. The heartbeat of mine pulsing for you. The whisper of truth that says, you have always been loved, always been cared for, and never once abandoned. I invite you to look again, slowly and honestly. Don't rush to list all that hasn't come to pass. Instead, focus on what is already in your hands. For gratitude not only makes way for miracles, but also releases the deepest kind of healing. Be thankful for the meal on your table, however simple, for it is rich with love. Give thanks for a roof that shelters you amidst the uncertainties of this world. My dear one, each of these is a mark of me, a sign that even when you said nothing, I responded. I do not work through noise or frantic demands. I move through gentleness, through the details that may seem small, yet carry an entire universe of my love. A ray of sunlight breaking through your window at dawn, a phone call that eases your loneliness at just the right time, a door you thought was closed suddenly swinging open. None of it is coincidence. It is my hand, always at work for your eternal good. Let these things remind you, you are not alone. In every moment you feel forgotten, I am closer than ever. When you think you've lost your way, I am guiding your steps through paths yet unnamed. When you feel you are not enough, I am saying, I am your sufficiency. So instead of pleading endlessly for what has not yet arrived, pause and praise me for what already is. That posture of gratitude will shatter the chains of anxiety and unlock new doors in the realm of the spirit. You will begin to see that miracles are not only the grand, headline-worthy wonders, but also the small, daily acts of my faithfulness. Repeat it again and again, and as your mind learns to recognize them, your soul will grow lighter, no longer dragged by what is lacking, but lifted by faith in the one who lacks nothing for those who love him. My child, if you pay close attention, you will realize some things I have not yet given you, not because I have forgotten, but because I am teaching you something more precious than miracles: unconditional trust. I do not merely want you to receive, I want you to be transformed. Not simply a person who has much, but one who is deeply connected to me, unshaken by circumstances, unmoved by emotion, not led by need, but led by my spirit. Let this time become an altar within your heart, a sacred place where you offer thanksgiving, not because everything is perfect, but because you know that I am the one who never forsakes. Honor me not only when wonders unfold, but even when the sky is still heavy with clouds. Rejoice not because every path is clear, but because you know my hand is holding yours, and I will not let go. My beloved child, every single day you are given is not a matter of chance, but a fresh testimony of my unending love and faithfulness toward you. I call you to begin this new day, not with the weight of what has yet to happen, or with the rush of daily responsibilities, but with a deliberate decision, a decision to set your mind on me, on the goodness that transcends time and space, which I am weaving into your life. Let your thoughts no longer be imprisoned by fear, but be set free by the truth that I am the one who never leaves you, not for a single moment. Train your mind as a farmer tends to his land, removing the weeds of doubt, watering it with the word of promise, and planting seeds of gratitude. Offer me not only your petitions, but also your praise, genuine thanksgiving, quiet yet honest whispers that acknowledge my hand at work. When your heart is filled with gratitude, nothing can steal your joy. No force can suffocate the hope you are clinging to. My child, I long for the eyes of your spirit to be opened, not just to see what is obvious to human sight, but to perceive the quiet, yet powerful movements of heaven in your life. I am working in the smallest of details, in the comfort spoken by a friend, in an unexpected opportunity, in the flight of a bird past your window, in those moments when your heart inexplicably feels comforted without a clear reason. These are not coincidences. They are me, the one walking beside you, the one constructing your journey in ways more marvelous than you have ever imagined. Never believe that I have forgotten the promises I have spoken over you. Every slow and measured step you take is within the allowance and holy orchestration of my will. The seasons of waiting are not empty. They are sacred grounds where I strengthen your spiritual muscles and fortify the foundations of your faith in preparation for a greater harvest. You are not being delayed. You are being prepared. You are not being forgotten. You are being shaped. Do not measure the value of a day by what your eyes can see, but learn to trust in my invisible leading. Your future is not in the hands of men, nor is it manipulated by the circumstances you cannot control. It is held securely in my eternal hands, where no shadow can reach, where no scheme of the enemy can infiltrate. I am the one who began the good work in you, and I will bring it to completion in glory. So rest, child, in the calm assurance that what awaits you is not chaos, but a symphony woven from the notes of power and love. I dwell not only in lofty sacred places, but also in the praises that rise from a broken, sincere, and humble heart. I am close to those who know they are weak, who know they need me. Do not try to prove that you are strong. Let me be your strength. I do not demand perfection from you. I only ask for honesty. A heart that opens itself to me invites my presence more powerfully than any grand ceremony or eloquent speech. And when you live with such faith, not a faith built on fleeting emotions, but one anchored in my eternal promises, I will pour blessings upon your life in ways beyond your imagination. These blessings will not merely be material, but will include a deep peace no one can take away, a joy untouched by circumstances, and a strength born from surrender. You will become a light, a bearer of hope, not only for yourself, but for the souls around you who need to be illuminated. So, my child, walk each day with the posture of one who has been given much and is still being led into more. Let your heart be so full of gratitude that it spills over into your actions, your words, your gaze, and your choices. Be a song in the darkness, a voice of encouragement in the midst of despair, an open hand in a world that often closes itself off. Not because you are good enough, but because I am good and I dwell within you. You are created to live a life of deep meaning, a life that is filled to overflowing, so that it may pour out into others. And every time you praise, Every time you give thanks, every time you return the glory to me, heaven opens, walls come crashing down, doors are unlocked, streams begin to flow in the barren places. Because you have chosen to see me not only in the grand miracles, but in the smallest of things. You have chosen to walk by faith and live in everlasting blessing. My child, continue to nourish your mind with this truth. I am your shepherd, and you shall not lack. And once you learn to live with a heart of gratitude, you will no longer wait for a miracle to celebrate. You will realize the miracle has always been there. In every breath, in every heartbeat, in you and in me. Beloved, draw courage from my very presence beside you and walk forward with your head held high and your heart steadfast in trust. The lies the enemy whispers in your ear, the accusations that you're not enough, that you are forsaken, that you'll never overcome, let them fall away like dust from your garments. They hold no power over you, for I am the one who speaks truth, and I have called you loved, forgiven, chosen, and set apart for a divine purpose. The enemy's accusations cannot alter your identity in me. The voices of the world may try to diminish you, but my voice is the final word, and it resounds with authority. This is my child whom I love, in whom I am well pleased. You are not defined by past failures or missteps, for I have washed them all away in the precious blood of forgiveness. When I forgive, I don't merely erase the wrongdoing, I forget it, and I never bring it up again. So why do you still carry shame, self-condemnation, or guilt? Those are not burdens I've placed on you. Lay them down. Let your mind be set free. Cast off the invisible burdens weighing you down. The anxiety about tomorrow, the insecurity born of what you cannot control, the endless conflicts that disturb your soul. These only draw your spirit away from the peace I long for you to live in each day. You were not designed to live in stress, but to walk in trust, not a vague trust, but a living faith anchored in my faithfulness, the one who began a good work in you and will bring it to completion. My child, you can lift your head high because you are no longer bound by chains of condemnation. You are free to step into the calling I ordained for you from the foundation of time. Free to love without fear of being wounded. Free to forgive without being shackled by bitterness. Free to live with a pure heart and a soul unburdened by resentment. You are not defined by yesterday. You are called to live for today, a day full of grace, a day of new beginnings, a day when heaven is poised to pour out upon you things beyond what you could ask or imagine. Do not let the noise around you distract your heart. Do not let temporary conflicts make you forget the real battle being waged in the spirit realm, a battle you do not fight alone. I am the one who goes before you. I am the one who surrounds you. I am the one who watches your back. And even in the battle within, I am fighting for you. No weapon forged against you shall prosper. No scheme of the enemy shall prevail when you stand in my light, covered by my truth and unshakable love. So, my child, walk more gently, live more simply, trust more deeply. Let gratitude flood your soul so that you may see clearly what you once only glimpsed in part. When you learn to view all things through the eyes of grace, you will begin to see that even in trials there are blessings, even in delays there is preparation, and even in my silence a plan is being formed. Know this, I do not love you only when you succeed. I love you just as much when you fall. I am not only present when you feel strong, I am holding you when you feel weak. My love for you does not waver with your emotions or change with your circumstances. It is constant, unshakable, and eternal, and that is the foundation upon which you may stand firm, unmoved in a world that is ever shifting. My beloved, you no longer have to live in fear. You do not need to hide your wounds or wear a mask of strength. You can come close to me with all that is real, with your tears, your unanswered questions, and your unspoken disappointments, and I will not turn you away. I will not hide my face. On the contrary, I will draw you into my embrace, wipe away every tear, and whisper to your heart, I am still here. I have never left. Therefore, do not look back at the chains I already broke. Do not let old sins pull you back into the place from which you were delivered. Do not let the voices of men drown out the sound of my voice. Remember, you were bought with a great price, placed in a position of honor, and called into a life that is no longer bound by shame or fear. I have gone before you, and the path I lead you on has no room for condemnation, only grace, restoration, and hope. My beloved child, if you truly desire to live in the fullness of the freedom I purchased for you at such a high cost, then you cannot allow your heart to continue nurturing bitterness. Bitterness, if not uprooted, will not only spoil the joy I am cultivating in you, but it will also poison your spirit like a hidden root spreading silently, staining even the purest things. I have seen every tear you have shed. I know every wound carved deep within you. But hear me now, holding on to pain will not heal you. It is only in the letting go that true healing begins. You cannot cling to forgiveness for yourself while still holding resentment toward others. The two cannot coexist. Place into my hands the deepest hurts, the words that shattered your heart, the actions that fractured your soul. I am the righteous judge. I do not ignore injustice, but I am also the God of mercy, and I call you to become like me, to forgive, to release, to rise above what you've been through. Forgiveness does not mean pretending the pain didn't happen. Forgiveness is choosing not to let that pain have power over you anymore. When you choose to forgive, you are not weak. You are declaring that you are stronger than what tried to destroy you. You are stepping out of the cycle of bitterness and into the land of restoration, where I will heal you, rebuild you, and use even the things you thought were meaningless to become a blazing testimony for my glory. Do not let the past imprison you. Do not allow sorrowful memories, images of disappointment, betrayal, or hurt to pull you backward. They are merely old pages in a story that I am still writing. You are no longer living in that chapter. I have turned the page. I am calling you into a new season, a sacred space where there is no room for yesterday's burdens. If you insist on carrying the heavy baggage of the past, you will not be able to run freely toward the great things I have prepared for you. My child, you must look forward. Do not look back anymore. I am before you, not behind. What I have prepared for you does not lie in what you have lost, but in what is coming. Things no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has yet conceived. That future is not vague. It is full of hope. It has been intricately designed by my own hand, with every detail aligned with the unique calling I have placed within you. It is a future with purpose, not merely survival, but a life directed by heaven. A future where you are not just a receiver, but a vessel through which blessings flow. A future in which you will be placed in the right position at the right time, fulfilling the right role to impact the lives of others through the very things you have overcome. The scars upon your soul, when surrendered to me, will no longer be remnants of pain, but testimonies of healing. You don't need to understand every detail in order to believe. You only need to know that I am the one leading you. Trust me, the way a child trusts his father. Even when he does not know the destination, he still walks on because he knows his father's hand is holding his. Keep your eyes fixed on the light, not the light of perfection, but the light of hope, of faith, and of a life led by grace. Do not get pulled into meaningless debates, slanderous words, or the burdens of rejection. Those things are not worth the price of your peace. I am giving you an opportunity to rebuild, not merely to repair, but to begin anew. You do not need to reconstruct your life upon the ruins, but upon the foundation of restoration that comes from me. Yet that foundation can only stand firm if you choose to walk gently, not dragged by the past, but upheld by promise. Each day I am opening a new door for you. Each day I am whispering into your heart, trust me once more. Take one more step, forgive one more time, and hope once again. I will step into your life like a gentle breeze, lifting the heaviness, like a radiant light dispelling the darkness that has lingered in your soul for so many years. I do not come as a stranger, but as a father who has long been waiting for you to open the door of your heart, to stop striving on your own, to stop enduring in silence, and to simply call out to me. Your faith, however small, however trembling, has rung a bell in heaven that I can no longer ignore. The prayers you thought were lost in the void have actually been gathering like drops of precious oil, ready to be poured out as a downpour of blessing, right at the moment I have appointed. My beloved children, do not think that I only listen to grand petitions, eloquent prayers, or perfectly spoken words. No. I hear even the gasping sigh in the night, the sobs that cannot form into sentences, those moments when you have no strength left to pray and can only bury your head and whisper, Father, please don't leave me. I hear it all, and I have come, not to condemn, not to interrogate, but to gather you into my arms with all your wounds, your burdens, and your doubts. I am not afraid of your brokenness. I am not repelled by your unanswered questions. On the contrary, I step into the very center of it, the place of collapse, the place of questioning, the place of deep sorrow. And I begin a work of renewal from the inside out. I do not begin by merely changing your circumstances. I begin with your heart. I heal the wells of faith that have run dry from prolonged trials. I stir up the dreams you once abandoned out of disappointment. I awaken the sacred calling I placed within you long ago, when your heart was still tender and filled with hope. And this time, you will not have to walk alone, because I am here, not as a vague belief, not as a distant theology, but as a living presence dwelling within your home, in every room, every meal, every ordinary moment. My child, perhaps you once thought that your faith had to be strong and unwavering in order to summon me. But I say to you, just one flicker of hope, one simple cry, is enough for me to step down from my glorious throne and enter your life. Do not let your weakness keep you from drawing near to me. Do not let the shame of your past convince you that I have turned away. My dear one, it is in your greatest weakness that my power is made perfect. It is when you are most empty that I can fill you most completely, and it is in your rawest honesty that I draw closest. My love for you is not shaken by your attitude. It does not rise and fall based on your outward behavior. My love is eternal, unchanging, and unconditional. It does not come and go like human emotion. It is a foundation, a breath, a stream of living water that never ceases to flow. And in this love, I do not love you only as the savior of your soul, but as a father who understands every trembling of your heart, every hidden insecurity, every dream you once let die. I am there when you think no one understands you. I am there when you are too weary even to speak a prayer. I am there when you just want to give up. And I do not stand still. I reach out, I place my hand upon your heart and declare, I am renewing your faith. You will no longer live under the fear of abandonment. You will no longer confuse my voice with the whispers of the enemy. I will open the eyes of your soul to see the unshakable nature of my love. I will open your ears to hear my voice calling your name above the noise of life. And above all, I will touch your heart to break down every wall you built to protect yourself from past wounds. You once thought, how can I ever believe again? How can I open my heart after all that has happened? But today I tell you, it is not you who will make this happen. I will do it within you. Do not try to walk this path in your own strength. Let me walk with you. Let me be your strength where you are weak, your light where you are confused, your hope where you feel despair. You may not have realized it, but every time you whispered a quiet prayer, every time you read a verse of scripture with a doubting heart, every time you chose not to give up, even in silence, you were opening the door for me to enter. And now I am here, not as a distant deity, but as an eternal friend, as the one who can bear the pain you cannot put into words, as the refuge your soul has always longed for. So, my beloved, let me enter even deeper, not just as part of your Sundays, but in every living moment. Let me enter the living room where you speak, the bedroom where you rest, the kitchen where you share your meals. Let me into the aching corners, the closed-off doors of your heart you thought no one should see. Let me heal at the root, not just soothe the surface. Let me restore not only your faith, but your whole heart, your whole soul. And then you will witness the miracle. You do not need to run far in search of wonders. The miracle begins right in your home, right within your very heart. Miracles do not begin with thunder or lightning, but in the quiet you. Every time you come back, you will step deeper into the destiny I have written for you. Stay close, stay expectant. The next word I speak may be the one that changes everything. Amen.